Uber has set aside over $100 million to settle the worker classification lawsuit, but actually the settlement raises more questions than it does answers. Hey everyone, this is Kevin the Apptrepreneur, and we're going to get right to this one because, well, the Facebook video went longer than I expected, a little bit more detailed than I wanted to. I really shouldn't talk politics on this channel. I shouldn't. And the next video, I suspect, will also be long. This is fairly straightforward, and I've got some very simple thoughts on it, but I've also got some questions that are a little concerning. So, Uber settles disputes with thousands of drivers ahead of IPO. Yeah, by the way, the IPO is today. We're going to talk about it in the next video. Uber says it has reached settlements with a large majority of 60,000 drivers in the United States who filed arbitration demands over their employment status. Drivers and Uber disputed whether they should be considered employees of the company or independent contractors. Their classification as independent contractors mean drivers aren't entitled to rider employees receive, including a minimum wage, sick leave, overtime, yada yada. We know all this. Although Uber did not provide details of the settlement, the company said it continues to believe its drivers are independent contractors, not employees, and it claimed in its IPO paperwork that classifying drivers and employees instead of contractors would adversely affect the business. By the way, this is why people are striking and want to get Congress's ears. This is why Uber will not raise the rates themselves because of this. But again, we've got a lot of congressmen and they are actually introducing bills and other things to change that, so Uber might not have much of a choice. Anyway, yeah. Uber, here's where it gets a little confusing. Uber said the settlement will cost between $146 million and $170 million. It has already set aside $132 million in anticipation of reaching a settlement. Interesting how they put aside $132 million, but it will cost between $146 and $170 million. It's not the first time the company's paid a large sum of drivers over the same classification dispute. The company owed $20 million in settlement with thousands of drivers in Massachusetts and California earlier this year. I have not gotten that settlement check, by the way. So anyway, you might be asking, what lawsuit is this? Well, you know that big lawsuit, the one that Shannon, lawyer who I don't like her. She has not been helpful to the drivers at all. That case. Apparently this is it. Strangely enough, I remember that the last time we heard about this, they had settled for $100 million. So, was that sum rejected by the courts? The courts rejected like a $200 million settlement or something like that before. Went back to the negotiating table. They offered $100 million. Of course, she's going to accept every single time because she's in it for herself. She's not in it for the drivers. Shannon, Rear and Loss, whatever the heck her name is. She's not helped at all, in my opinion. But, of course, she accepted it. So, does this mean that basically the court said no again? They had to go higher? You know, at this rate, I'd probably settle for $170 million. I mean, I'd get like a $3,000-$4,000 check. Most of you get a few $100s. And then Congress is probably going to write the laws that will force Uber to, you know, pay a minimum wage and pay something, give some sick time, anything like that. But, you know, it's just a very brief thing. Uber settling. But there's questions remaining, like, you know, where's this figure come from? This article itself doesn't actually say who it's from. Another article said which lawsuit it was. And did the judge approve it? We don't know if the judges actually approved this thing. So, yeah, if you get a check, another check from Uber somewhere later in the year, this is why. I'll believe it when I see it because it's just, you know, whatever. There's more important stories to talk about. This is a footnote today. So anyway, now it's time to just cut this video and go to the next one. What do you think about it? How much do you think you're going to get? Do you think this is too little, too high? Of course, love to know. So comment below. Like, favorite, share, subscribe. If you enjoy the videos, consider becoming a Patreon member. Optional. $1 a month helps the channel go a long way. Gives you access to the blog. Gas prices are too high. Check out the Get Upside app. It's, you know, cash back on, you know, you get cash back on the app and it's free. So, you know, we're just going to leave it there. Flame responsibly. Now we got to talk about the who's going to actually get rich from the IPO today. And boy, that one's going to piss you all off.